Thank you for joining me today. Today I want to talk about the love bank. Now, the love bank is a concept that I read about a few years ago. I read it in a book called His Needs, Her Needs. The book was written by Willard F. Harley. The book was written, I believe, in the 1980s. It's quite an old book. It's a classic. Many millions of copies of this book have been sold. A big part of the book talks about this idea of the love bank, which is a brilliant idea, a brilliant concept. In any relationship, there is a love bank. That is what kind of glues the relationship together. I'm going to focus more on a romantic, an intimate relationship, because obviously that's what we're dealing with on this channel. And we can learn, like with all my videos, we can learn from the intimate relationship, marriage, how other relationships, when I work on me, when I work on myself, when I focus on what I need to put into this relationship, we can apply that really to any relationship in our lives. And as this channel suggests, it's all about focusing on me, not focusing on what I want from the other person, what my needs are from the other person, what's lacking in the other person, but it's much more focusing on what I'm bringing into the relationship. So the love bank, the concept of the love bank is as follows. Everybody has a love bank when they're in a relationship. My love bank is an account that I do not deposit into and I do not withdraw from. My partner is the one that deposits in my love bank, and she's the one that withdraws from the account, from my love bank. My partner has a love bank as well. She's not the one that deposits and withdraws. I'm the one that deposits and withdraws from her love bank. So, for example, if my wife, I'm at work, I pass the shops on my way home. If my wife picks up the phone and says, "Hey Arkov, can you just pick up a pint of milk on your way home?" I'd really appreciate it. And I'm on my way home, I'm thinking about other things, I'm listening to a podcast on my phone, somebody calls me, whatever it is, I completely forget that my wife asked me to buy a bottle of milk on the way home. I get home, where's the milk? I make up some pathetic excuse about why I didn't bring the milk. Obviously, that is going to be a small withdrawal in the love bank. If I'm at work, I close a fantastic deal. I know I've got a lot of money coming in next month from this deal. The deal is closed, the contract's signed. I come home and I tell my wife, "Honey, we are going away this weekend. I close a big deal. I've got X amount of money coming in next month, and we're going to take a big chunk of that. We're going to go away. We haven't been away for a good few months. We're going to go away, and we're going to spend some time together." That is obviously a big deposit in my wife's love bank. And so too, throughout the day, if she sends me an SMS, a nice SMS, "Hope you're having a nice day," or I send her an SMS or a WhatsApp message, "Just thinking about you," whatever it is, these small things like this are small deposits in my wife's love bank. Now, obviously, if we get into an argument, we get into conflict, and I tell my wife what I think of her, that she's not being rational, that, it's because of her mother and because of her this and because of her childhood and who knows what I bring into the conversation, all of those things are gonna just be a withdrawal from her love bank. And obviously, when our love bank is constantly in the minus, then the relationship, the glue that is holding the relationship together, is going to become weaker. When I am constantly putting deposits in my partner's love bank and she is constantly putting deposits into my love bank, then the glue that is holding this relationship together is going to be stronger and stronger, and the relationship is going to be more and more meaningful. So the idea is that throughout the day, we are making small deposits, we're making hopefully some big deposits, and there will inevitably be some withdrawals, but obviously we want to keep those withdrawals to a minimum. And over the course of the day, the idea is that by the end of the day, the bank account is going to be in the plus and not in the minus. Over the course of the week, at the end of the week, the couples from both sides, their bank accounts are going to be in the plus and not in the minus. Over the course of the month, over the course of several months, over the course of the year, several years, we're constantly depositing in our partner's love bank, and they are constantly depositing in our love bank, and that is what is holding the relationship together. Now, I just want to talk about a concept which I don't claim to be an expert. It's not something I've studied or have a degree in, but from the research that I have looked into, as I've mentioned before on my channel, there are many videos today on narcissism, on narcissistic abuse, and it seems that when, people also talk about this idea of lack of appreciation. Now, I don't like to talk about narcissism, I don't like to talk about narcissistic abuse, and I don't like to to label people, to put labels. You are this or you are that, whether it's BPD, there's all kinds of, borderline personality disorder. There are all kinds of terms that are used to put people in boxes, which I do not think is healthy. But there is one concept that I think can really help us to understand this concept, and it really applies to the love bank as well, and that is CPTSD, which stands for chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I have looked into this a little bit, and it seems that from the age of about 1 to 3, if a person did not get the love that they should have got from a parent, if they didn't get the attention that they should have got from the parent during those critical years, that is going to really affect them through their later childhood, through their teenage years, and it's certainly going to affect them, it's gonna, the way that they relate in their intimate relationships, it's also going to affect that if they do not recognize that, this was a problem from their childhood, and they kind of work through those issues with either on their own by reading books or with a therapist. There are many ways to overcome this, and many people that have this, that have that kind of lack of love, that lack of attention that they were yearning for when they were little, and again, leading through their childhood years. People that had that and didn't work through that issue are going to bring it with them into a relationship. So when it comes to the love bank, somebody that has that issue may be in a position where whatever their partner does for them, they're going to feel like, that was nice and that's good, but, I want more. Simply because they have that lack in themselves and they never worked on that, then the partner who's actually doing the giving is going to feel like, well, she appreciated it and it was good that I did that, but it wasn't enough and therefore I need to do more. And he's constantly going to be trying to fill her love bank, but it's as if, the bag has a hole in it. The bucket has a hole in it. So we're filling up this bucket and there is actually a leak. So this is an important concept to bear in mind. Some people do have this issue, and if your partner has this issue or you have this issue, this is something that can be dealt with in one-on-one therapy, couples therapy, by reading books, and this is something that is really, really important for couples to understand when there is this issue, that there is a hole in the bucket, that, there is no container. When I give my partner love, there is no container to hold that love. And that's a really important concept. Again, some people may then take that on to, she's borderline, she's she's narcissistic. I wouldn't say any of that. I would say there is a fundamental issue here that needs to be worked on, and that is up to the person. I can't do the work that she needs to do or he needs to do. But that is an issue that people need to be aware of when they are in a relationship. I think everybody has that to a small degree, to a certain extent. And again, through therapy, through reading books, through couples therapy, that issue can really be worked through so that when you receive love from your partner, it fills up your love bank and there are no leaks. It's there, it's appreciated, and therefore you can actually give back to your partner. Some really important concepts in this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video and are benefiting from my channel. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon.